And welcome in to the Wheelhouse here, Elevation 5280 Sports and Lifestyle. Matt is back in the chair beside me, although we're in two different cities. But Matt, welcome back. How are you this morning?
Oh, I'm doing good. It's the Masters weekend, so pretty excited about that. Was able to watch the Thursdays, Fridays rounds were okay, but yesterday and today's rounds I think are going to be really good. So I'm excited about that. And we got the last day of the NBA. A lot of things can happen. A lot of things are going to switch around, win, lose, whatever, how it goes. So I'm excited to see that.
Yes, a lot to get into this morning. We have Taco Bell jerseys to hand out. We have, like you mentioned, the Wild West in the NBA still yet to be decided on the final day of the NBA season. The play-in tournament will get going tomorrow, and we'll talk about local, a lot of local stories for us here in Denver. Matt, we'll talk about the captain is back. Gabriel Landeskog's long journey back to hit the ice the last couple of days. So good to see him back, especially with his just feathery red hair. It is beautiful. It just glistens in the light, and we will talk about that. And then also a look ahead to tomorrow. We got a big night tomorrow, as well as the WNBA draft. We'll get started tomorrow. We'll be back with you tomorrow evening to break down everything that happens in that, like you mentioned, the Masters as well. And don't forget to head over to all of our socials, Facebook, X, Instagram, subscribe, like our YouTube channel, Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. And don't forget to always check out our home base at e5280sports.com. Blogs, all of our on-demand shows are up there as well. And check out Pro Wrestling Daily and Between the Lines right there on the front page. Well, we usually do a fire and ice, so I guess we'll still do it, Matt, but not really much on the ice list. But we will kick things off with fire and ice. If you're new to the program, then it's kind of a top three, who's hot, who's not, or however many we want to put on there. Sometimes we talk about one thing that takes up basically the whole segment, which is good conversation. So let's get into fire and ice.
It's now time for fire.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.
It's on fire.
I'm the only one of burning desire. Let me stand next to your fire.
And ice.
Ice Cube, baby.
You're as cold as ice. Ice, ice, baby.
All right, Matt, since you're back in the captain's chair, where do you want to start things off?
Well, let's go to fire. Well, let's start in fire. See what's hot and cooking today.
Yeah, so on the kind of on the back burner right now, that's why we put it at number 3, is a look ahead to tomorrow night's WNBA draft, and kind of a mixed bag of the type of skill and personnel that's coming out in this draft. Obviously, if you saw our post the other day, getting ready for tomorrow night, we kind of threw projections out there on our social media posts, but the projected, obviously, in everyone's projections, number 1 pick is going to be Paige Buckets, just freshly off a UConn national championship a couple days ago, and she is projected to be the number 1 pick to the Dallas Wings. Excited for see where Paige Becker goes. Obviously, it's going to be probably is that a foregone conclusion, Matt? Paige Becker's number 1?
Yeah, but it's like what we're looking at is to who. There's talks, and we'll get into all this tomorrow, of a team trying to make a trade to get up there. There's a couple teams that they're mentioning that's trying to get up there and go after that number 1 pick to take Paige. So I think she's going number 1 for sure. But I don't know to who. Like that's what I think that's going to be the biggest thing tomorrow, is to see where she actually goes. But it's not, this draft isn't as, I would say, name brand name, big name loaded as last year's draft was, with obviously CeCe You had Cameron Brink, Angel Reese came out, Cardoso came
Yeah.
out. There was a lot of big names that came out last year, so it's not as name wise as that, but there's some great players that are coming out. Van Lith's going to come out in this draft. Is she going to be somebody? I was reading something yesterday, and I'm trying to find it now, but something about Falasia. Is she staying, or is she going, or is she coming out? Or because I thought she was going to come out, but then I saw something that she was going to stay in LSU.
Yeah, I don't know. What is it? You talking about Flage?
Flage, yeah.
Yeah, she had a very cryptic Instagram post the other day saying basically 4 out because she wears number 4. She said, "I'm finally pouring my heart and soul into this post." I don't know what she's doing. She's only a junior, so she has 1, maybe 2 years of eligibility left. I'm assuming at least 1 as a senior because she's only a junior. I don't know. I don't know what she's going to do. I thought you had to play all 4 years in college in women's. I think that's what you have to do. But I don't know. I don't know what she plans to do. I don't know. I mean, does she want to be
You
that?
saw that too, right? And then like there was some weird stuff. I was reading about it, and then I was just confused on all that for a second, and I was trying to research it now because I didn't like it was just odd. It was odd to me. So, but we'll dig into that a little bit more and see what that was all about. Also too. So, and I mean, even we can even we'll get into else tomorrow. But South Carolina is getting in. They just signed had a real highly touted freshman that they signed. So they're loading up, stocking up too. So a lot of good stuff going on with women's college basketball and the WNBA, which is going to start here pretty soon. I'm pretty pumped about it. I know my wife and I love watching the WNBA as you do too, Mike.
Yeah. So yeah, still have the season league pass. So
So
I'm excited for that. Yeah, you mentioned Van Lith. I'm excited to see Sarah Ashley Barker out of Alabama, where she ends up. Centrone out of Notre Dame. She's actually projected in a lot of people's mock drafts to go number 3 to the Washington Mystics. By the way, have back-to-back picks at 3 and 4. They acquired one of those picks. I want to say from Seattle, but could be wrong on that. Van Lith, a lot of projections have her going number 5 to the newly acquired Golden State Valkyries in the expansion. So we could see a backcourt of Haley Van Lith and Kate Martin out there in Golden State, which could be fun to see. But is there anyone that we really haven't talked about that you're excited to see come out, hope to see get drafted? I just touched on Kate Martin. Remember, she went to the draft last year to support Caitlin Clark, and then she ended up getting drafted by Vegas. Really wasn't expecting it, and then the Golden State Valkyries picked her in the expansion draft. So you can, when you're an expansion team, you can pluck players from the existing teams have to put somebody up for the expansion draft, and she was put up by the Golden State, or excuse me, by the Vegas Aces. But is there anybody you're hoping to see get drafted that hasn't really got a lot of clout or a lot of talk recently?
I mean, I was talking to one of my players about rebounding, and I was telling her to watch Anissa Morrow. Now I know she's projected to go in the top 10 or something like that, but I look at her, and I mean, I could make cases on why I could pick her. I mean, it's crazy to pick somebody over Paige. Like, if you have that number 1 pick, it's crazy that you would think to pick somebody that's not paid. But Anissa Morrow, man, the things that she does at the rim, she just runs the court up and down. She's a hustle, and she's one of those players that just you want other players to feed off of what she does. So I would probably say her. The Barker from UCLA, I like the way she plays. Pow Pow's in there too as well. She got a lot of talk there in the things that she can do and lead the teams. But it's the WNBA, as we saw, as last year was like my first really dive into it. There's a lot of movement up, teams come back, they trade. There's a lot of stuff going on, and there's not a lot of teams that are in the WNBA. So there's a lot of this girl's here, she goes here, and it's like, man, dang, they're loaded. You look at those teams and you think they're loaded. So it's where they go, and that makes fits is what I'm really looking at. So, but yeah, I mean, I know, like I said, she's projected in the top 10 already, but I could make cases to draft her number one. And I might sound crazy over everybody that's up there, but if you watch, she's one of my favorite players to watch. I mean, she's been one of my favorite players to watch, but I thought she was better than Angel Reese, and in those situations. So yeah, she's somebody that maybe is not getting the run for like a top 1, 2, or 3 pick, but I can make reasons for picking her up there.
Yeah, and she led the SEC in rebounding, kind of an undersized forward, but she always snuck in there and grabbed rebounds. And yeah, I mean, could be a vital asset to a lot of teams in the W. The lady I'm excited to see, and I hope she gets drafted, hasn't got a lot of talk, is my girl. You'll see her jersey hanging up behind me tomorrow, and that is Lucy Olson. I'm curious to see, because she really hasn't said what she's going to do at the next level. But then I saw something on Instagram today, like it said she'd be a good fit with Vegas, Golden State, Indiana. I would love to see her on the Fever, Matt. Can you imagine at the same time her and Cece playing together? I know Lucy only played 1 year at Iowa, but led the Big Ten in assists, and she was second in the Big Ten in scoring. So she did have a very successful year with Iowa, getting to that second round, and then unfortunately ran into a very good Oklahoma team. But it was, yeah, she really hasn't said what she's going to do. She really hasn't officially, I guess, declared for I know the WNBA on their social media handles put out all the girls that are invited to the draft tomorrow night, and she wasn't on that list. But again, it could be a Kate Martin type situation where you weren't expecting to get drafted and you did. Kate Martin was drafted in the second. WNBA, by the way, only has 2 rounds. So like you said, there's not a lot of teams, so there's only 2 rounds. Remember, Toronto enters the conversation next year. We'll see who they pluck in the expansion draft, as teams again have to put up certain players for the expansion teams to draft. But I'm curious to see if and when Lucy Olson gets drafted.
That's a good one, because like you said, there's Kate happened to Kate Martin last year, and she was just there, and she got picked. So she's a good one. So yeah, I mean, and again, it's only 2 rounds, like you said, and with my first initial look at it last season, I was like, okay, I kind of like this. I like the way it goes, and I know there's not that many teams, but I like the flow of it. I really enjoyed that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to tomorrow and seeing where these great bats, like I'm excited about the WNBA season, just going into it without even thinking about these new players that are going to be on these teams, and to really look at where these teams line up. Because I mean, we remember Kelsey Plum, she's on the Sparks now.
Yeah,
Diana Travasi retired.
Yeah, Jewel Lloyd got traded to Vegas. So
yeah,
a lot of movement in the offseason as well.
There's a lot of stuff it's going to be new and kind of some fresh looks, and there with Cameron Brink and I mean, it's just we'll see, but yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm excited for tomorrow.
Yeah, so we will see. Don't forget to tune in. We're hoping to get started around 5:30. I know that's when everyone's kind of pre-draft coverage begins, but we'll be on around 6 o'clock, depending on what we hear from the draft. All right, number 2 on the fire list, Matt. We kind of touched on it, but the cap is back for the Colorado Avalanche, and Gabriel Landeskog's long journey has finally, I don't want to say come to an end, but at least him getting back on the ice journey has come to an end, as he's now played in back-to-back games for the Avalanche's AHL affiliate. right here in Colorado, up in Loveland, about an hour north from us. But good to see him back with the sweater on. He did have a tip-in goal last night. 2-0 when Landy plays for the Eagles, but their season came to an end yesterday as well. So Avs hopefully getting Gabe back for the playoff run that it's about to embark. NHL still has a couple days left in their regular season. So we will see. The Avs already have their matchup set, so really can't do much more. They will play Dallas in the first round. Kind of ironic, Matt, because that's where Mikko Rantanen ended up with the Dallas Stars. But Gabriel Landeskog hasn't played an NHL game, Matt, in over 1,000 days. He hasn't played since Game 6 of the 2022 Stanley Cup Final when the Avs took home the Cup. Just a weird knee injury. I've had three plus different surgeries on it. I mean, he's been to 10 different specialists on it. People saying, hey, Avs need to force him to medically retire and use that money for somebody else. They could have used that money to keep Rantanen. Just a lot of negative talk out there. But it seemed like Gabe kept his head down, fought through it, and now he is back on the ice. And we will see the timetable now for him to rejoin the Colorado Avalanche for this playoff run. So good to see Gabe, and again, that feathery, just ginger hair just flowing as he skates is just incredible to watch.
Yeah, and it's like a testament to the Avalanche, and you said it right there where they invested the money into him, so they're going to invest their time into their investment. They're going to make sure that they can do everything that they can to not cut him, to not force him to retire, to save that money, to save this guy, because they've invested into him. So, I mean, if you're another player around the league looking at this situation, you got to look at the Avalanche as a place to come play hockey. If they invest this much into their stars, and I mean, granted, he's one of the best hockey players when healthy in the entire league. So it's a damn good investment if you ask me. But it's great to hear stories like that. He had the similar knee injury that LaMelo had, and he's making strides. He's getting back to the court, and so it's good to see that there's light at the end of the tunnel. Joel Embiid, I don't know if he's going through the same thing, but he's had several knee surgeries, so it'd be interesting. I think he's just a big cat, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. But it's the story's good to see. I have been following it a little bit, especially recently with him being back on the ice and playing. And I even saw some highlights of him getting mixed up with these young guys, and how cool is that for some of these young guys to not even that they wouldn't even think they'd be in a situation where they play somebody like that, but they get to do it. So it's a great story all the way around. And it's like you said, if he's ready for the playoffs, what a boost this gives to a team that's already playing pretty well going into the playoffs. So I would just think this makes him even better, right? I mean, I'm not a big puckhead, but I would imagine that this would make this team just that much better.
Well, and the depth that they have now with Nichushkin back and guys like that, they're almost questioning what line do they put him on. I mean, the first line is pretty solid, obviously, with Nathan McKinnon heading that up, and the second line with Nichushkin. I mean, is there room on the third line? Do you play him on the fourth line just to get his sea legs under him? I know he obviously played in a couple AHL games, but it's still really not close to the speed of the NHL. And the guys on the fourth line only play about between 18 to 20 minutes a game, so maybe that's where he starts off. But it's pretty, like you said, pretty remarkable that this team is so good that you don't even know where to put your captain at when he comes back from injury. So good there. If you're wondering, by the way, about the feathery red hair, I mean, look at that. It is just glorious. Just I'm sure he just wakes up like that, Matt, and he's good to go. It is
pretty good.
Yeah.
It is pretty nice. Would this create a situation for, like you're talking about him on the fourth line, maybe potentially the third line, but what about the special units? Like would there be some spots for him there? Would that be that where you throw him on for sure?
Yeah, especially like a power play or a penalty kill. I'm not sure about penalty kill wise because there's a lot more movement going on. You're just chasing guys all over the place. Maybe on a power play unit would be good because obviously that's only around 2 minutes. You don't really exchange guys except if like a puck gets shoved down the ice and you got to go chase it. Maybe that's where you make a line change, but definitely on a power play. By the way, guess who he was line mates with the Colorado Eagles, and that would be the young Makar, Taylor Makar, Kale's younger brother, has played now a couple games with the Colorado Eagles. So we'll see where he makes his NHL debut. Will it be this year, or are they holding him off until next year? That's going to be another question coming up here for the Colorado. But yeah, two Makar brothers playing on the Colorado Avalanche. I mean, if he's even half as good of his bigger brother Kale, teams better look out.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, just a cool story. Just great to see him back, and this is gonna like fuel a good playoff run here if he can get back into it and get. I think just the fact him being there, and if he can contribute on the ice, great. But just the fact that he's there would be a big boost to this team.
Yeah, so we will see what happens when he's going to get his first run with the Avalanche. Still a couple days left in the NHL season. Playoffs will kick off here in about a week or so, so we will see. Speaking of playoffs, over on the hardwood, Matt, today is the last day of the NBA season. The Eastern Conference is all pretty much wrapped up, Matt. You have Cleveland in first. They secured that a while ago. You have Boston in second, the Knicks in third. So there's still a lot of teams vying, especially for the play-in tournament. You have a rematch of the Bulls and Heat in the play-in tournament, and then it'll be Orlando and Atlanta on the other side in the play-in tournament. Play-in tournament gets going tomorrow night, by the way. The West right now is just crazy. It is just a cluster F of teams, 4 through 8. I mean, 4 through 8 is still undecided, Matt, or 4 through 10, excuse me, still undecided. So here's what it looks like right now. Through a couple days ago. Let's see if we can get an update. I don't know what this guy is doing over here, but
what is that guy doing?
I don't know, but I don't even know if that's correct. This guy is just not doing his job. But
it looked right, I guess. I mean,
yeah,
I know, but there's like you said, 4 through 10 is wacky. Just the Nuggets in particular, since that's what we mainly follow here is the Denver Nuggets. But just like if they win today, they're in the 4 seed. Like they can't go any higher than the 4 seed. If they win, they're at 4, but they can end up at 7 in some cases, and in some cases they could be in the playing game, I think. So there's 1, 2, 3 is set for the way I understand it, and that's Oklahoma City, Houston, and the freaking Lakers. So then you have the Nuggets, and the Clippers are throwing a wrench into everything right now. But
yeah, where do they come from?
Well, it's like they always do. It's that time of year though. Also, it's also that time of year where Kawhi Leonard gets hurt and he's out for the playoffs. The Clippers, oh God, here they come. They're the best team. They're second best team. They're championship favorites. Then Kawhi gets hurt. I'd be really, really happy to see Kawhi stay healthy because the Clippers definitely screw up a lot of things because the matchups that team presents can really, really, really ruin the Lakers. Oklahoma City can put a damper on what they're trying to do or what they expect to do because if they land somewhere. So the West is jarbled up, but I really think, I don't know how you feel about this, Mike, but I know we're homers, we're biased, so we want the Denver Nuggets. We feel like the Denver Nuggets are going to be there at the end. But the team that's going to be playing them, I look at it from the point of view of I don't know if this Oklahoma City Thunder team is going to make it out of round 1. I just don't see. They remind me of the Nuggets in the 2022 season, I want to say, where they were like the number one or number 2 seed. I can't remember which seed they got, but nobody gave them a shot. And they barely get out of the second round or the first round, and they get blown out. I think they lose to the Warriors that won the championship that year. I think that's the way it went. But it's I just don't trust them. I don't trust what they have going on. I know their benches, but there's some things that I've noticed in them where they can, like, I don't think Chet Holmgren has that much heart, has that much championship moxie, I guess, that I know he hasn't earned it yet, or he hasn't gone through it to experience it, but there's still that like did you see, look at Christian Brown. You knew Christian Brown had that in 23. I don't know if this just Chet Holmgren guy. I think he's kind of soft. So I think you can bully him around, and there's some guys on there that I don't know if mentally they're at that point yet to where they need to go through some whoopings to get, they got through last year, but that Dallas team beat them. I think they need to go through a little bit more, and I just don't see them as true contenders in this NBA or in the Western Conference anyway. So it's wide open for me. Outside of what we got going on here and our new juice that's been injected into we take away stuff, but we put juice in, I guess, for the Nuggets. So what we got going on, I love that. But, again, I'm biased and I'm a homer, but I just don't. The West is wide open. It could go any way. I really do think it can.
So the West as it sits today, the 4 through 8 seed can change today. So Nuggets are in 4th, Clippers 5th, Warriors 6th, T-Wolves 7, and Memphis 8. That's what it sits right now. Now the Nuggets can finish any spot from 4 to 7. The Clippers can finish any spot 4, 5, or 7. The Warriors can finish 6 or 7. Minnesota can finish in any spot between 4 and 8. And the Grizzlies can either finish in 7 or 8. That's just how crazy it is. The Nuggets will play Houston today. Houston already has the 2nd seed secure, Matt, but they are not resting anybody. They said, F you guys. Udoka is just like, yeah, we don't care. We're playing everybody. The Clippers and Warriors play each other today, Matt. So that's a matchup to keep your eye on. The Warriors and Clippers play each other today. So that's another matchup that's going to have huge implications. Minnesota should win today. They're playing the Utah Jazz, and Memphis against Dallas. Dallas, we all know their story this year. I mean, I think they're still kind of hanging on to something, but I don't think they're going to really necessarily make it. But yeah, that's how jumbled up this Western Conference is. 4 through 8 is just insane, and that's kind of where we sit right now. And if you're wondering, Dallas is holding on to that 10th seed. Sacramento and Dallas have that 9 and 10 locked up, Matt. So they will play each other in the first play-in game. So somehow Dallas just kept their head above water and at least made it into the play-in game. So I guess good on them. They got Anthony Davis back maybe at the right time. He almost had a quadruple double the other night, which is crazy. So here's kind of the Nuggets scenario, if you're wondering. If the Clippers and Nuggets win, the Denver will have the 4 seed, Clippers will have the 5 seed. If the Warriors and Nuggets win, Denver will have the 4 seed. Minnesota slides into that 5 seed, and Clippers fall to the 7 seed. If the Clippers win and the Nuggets don't, Clippers will snag that 4 seed. Nuggets will move to the 6th. And if the Warriors win and the Nuggets don't, Minnesota takes over the 4th spot. Clippers 5, Warriors 6, and Denver will fall all the way to 7. So that's how crazy this last day of the NBA season is.
It's wild. It's wild. And from a Nuggets fan perspective, I would rather play Minnesota than the Clippers just to get it out of the way. Get it out of the way. Get the monkey off your back immediately.
Can I be honest with you? I do not want to see Minnesota.
I know. I get that.
They just don't match up with them well. They've lost 6 straight to them. They should have won the last one, but just kind of ran out of gas there, and double overtime was crazy. I'm mad at Joker. I needed one more rebound. I would have won $1,200. So trade him. But yeah, ship him out. But no, it is it's crazy.
I get it. And I totally get that. Like, I would be on that, but the way I look at it is This team needs to get that Minnesota Timberwolf monkey off their back. I don't think they want to be going and looking ahead at the bracket, looking ahead up and saying, man, there comes Minnesota. Where's Minnesota? Get them out of the way right now. Get it all out of the way. You get that monkey off your back. You're good to go. Let's go. That's what I want to see. But I also that I want the Clippers lower so they can go and ruin somebody's hearts up there, so they can get, they can mess up some stuff up there. I really think the Clippers are going to throw a wrench in. If Kawhi's healthy, he's going to throw a wrench into all this. And I'd rather see the Clippers do all that in that first round instead of play the Nuggets. The Warriors, I think they can kind of do that too. They can throw some wrenches up there. And I just want to see Oklahoma City and the Lakers party get ruined in the first round. And those are the teams that can do it. I don't know if I think Minnesota's our biggest issue. That's what I think. I think like you said, Denver doesn't want to see Minnesota if they want to get through until the Western Conference Finals. I get that. But for me, get them out of the way right now, because they're the only team that I mean, the Lakers have kind of had our number the past couple games. So, but I think this is a different attitude. This is a different mindset. But you hit a good point that the matchups between the Timberwolves and the Nuggets, they don't match up well. And that's why I feel like just get it out of the way now. Get it done now. The rest of these teams, just bring them on.
Yeah. I still
I get it.
I want to steer clear of them. I don't even want to take that chance to getting knocked out by Minnesota. So we will see what happens. It'll all be decided at the end of today, as once again, it is the final day of the NBA season. So we will see what goes down. A lot of key matchups in that Western Conference today. A lot of playoff implications obviously going down. We kind of touched on it, but over on the Eastern Conference, Matt, it is just kind of all settled. Cleveland obviously running away with the Eastern Conference, but they secured that about like almost a month ago. 64-17, still not the best record in the NBA. Oklahoma City will take down that with them. Boston has 60 wins. They're at the number 2 seed. The Knicks right there at number 3. The Pacers slide into that 4 seed. Milwaukee 5. Detroit. Good to see Detroit up there again.
Yes.
They're a fun young team to watch. They have that 6 seed secured. The play-in tournament, as we kind of mentioned, Orlando will face Atlanta as the 7-8 seeds, and then Chicago. Again, addition by subtraction. They trade DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine, both subsequently to Sacramento, and somehow they just looked a lot better without those 2 superstars on their team. And so they will play Miami. Good on Miami too. The whole Jimmy Butler saga, and again, kind of like Dallas, the whole Luka saga, and they're still keeping their head above water. So that'll be the play-in tournament in the Eastern Conference.
That Detroit Nick matchup is the one I'm going to be really curious to watch, because I think the Detroit Pistons are going to beat New York. And I know I'm not the only one saying this, because the Knicks have been kind of flawed this season. They've been, I think there's going to be a coaching change there, and I think we're going to see our good old buddy Michael Malone over there in New York. But anyway, it's a team, that series is something that I'm really curious to see how it turns out, and how it plays out. If it's going to be if it's going to go the full 7, or if Detroit, but I feel like Detroit's going to win that series. Boston though does anybody, so let me ask you this, Mike, real quick. Do you think Cleveland has a better shot? Because these 2 number 1 seeds on both sides aren't your typical number 1 seeds that we typically are used to seeing. The Oklahoma City Thunder and the Cleveland, definitely the Cleveland Cavaliers. Between the 2 of those teams, who do you think could go further? Who's built to go further? I think it's the Cleveland Cavaliers, because I've seen Donovan Mitchell go further than I've seen Shea, but they're kind of in that similar, status. Like, nobody knows that they're going to take them serious until they win playoff series.
Yeah, I would have to agree that Cleveland as well. Although it wouldn't shock me if Oklahoma City kind of rode this momentum for a couple rounds. Again, I don't know how far they're going to go, but yeah, it is kind of they do have kind of similar built teams where obviously SGA and Donovan Mitchell are your standout guys on both of those teams. But yeah, who's going to be the sidekick? Who's going to be the guy who steps up to help you in the playoffs? Sure, Shea averaged 32 points a game. He's going to win the scoring title this year, and unfortunately, probably going to win the MVP award this year. But I mean, who's going to be your backup? Obviously, Oklahoma City does have a deep team. They do have a lot of depth. When you have Isaiah Hartenstein coming off the bench for you, Matt, I know he started at center, and they kind of threw Chet like at the 4, which is kind of weird. So they have played together for a lot of the time that Chet's been healthy. But Hartenstein was a good pickup for Oklahoma City. So we'll see how he does. Remember, Cleveland made a trade at the trade deadline and shifted some pieces around. And it seemed, again, addition by subtraction, it seemed, because now it seemed like they're more cohesive and have more chemistry without those pieces. So yeah, I think Cleveland will go probably maybe a round further than Oklahoma City, but it's not by much.
Yeah, I got Cleveland in that.
And again, yeah, sorry, but playoffs, throw away the records. It's all about matchups. Who do you match up better with?
And I do see Cleveland, like, they have that I think their second I mean, I like Jalen Williams, I really do, but Darius Garland's pretty damn good. The way Cleveland plays basketball, the way they play defense, they got Mobley, who's probably going to win the Defensive Player of the Year. I feel like Cleveland can go further in the playoffs. And with Donovan Mitchell, we've already seen him do. We've seen the back-to-back 50s that he thrown at Jamal when they were up 3-1. So the experience is there. And last year they got hurt. Donovan Mitchell got hurt. I think Darius Garland got hurt. A lot of those guys were getting hurt. And the addition with DeAndre Hunter is a guy who I was hoping the Nuggets made an effort after to get, just really changed the way that their second unit goes. It just really did something with that Cleveland team, and defensively the way they are to play. So yeah, I think Cleveland can go further than the Oklahoma City Thunder. And when you look at is Milwaukee going to do anything? They got Giannis. Does Giannis still maybe in that first round matchup get you a game or two, still just being Giannis, but Dame is out? We don't know if he's going to be ready for the playoffs or if he's going to even be back. I haven't really seen exactly what's going on with that, but that's an issue there. Orlando, I mean, if they get into if they win that play-in game, there's a situation where they could, ruin some people's rounds, or they could ruin some things. I don't know if they're built enough to take Cleveland out, but they could do something. They could get in that 7 seed and take Boston to 7 games. I can totally see that. So that Eastern Conference is a little bit more solidified with Boston. I think, though, is you can almost guarantee that Boston's going to come out of there with Cleveland maybe making some noise, but I don't think it's as wide open as the West is. There's 4 teams that could come out of that Western conference and be there's maybe even, I can maybe push it to 5, but there's a lot more situations in the West where you look at and it's not so guaranteed where you think these teams are going to go. But the East, it looks a little bit more clear with Boston and Cleveland.
Yeah, remember Orlando took Cleveland to 7 games last year or the year before.
They did.
So keep an eye on that.
That Paolo Blanchero, man, my God, if there was a superstar that I would be trying to trade for, I know Orlando's there's no need to trade him because they got the Wagners over there and they got a really good nucleus that's young. Wagner. And they I doubt they would, but if there's a superstar that the next big thing, it's Paolo.
Yeah, he's a beast out there for Orlando. You were able to you mentioned the Knicks. You said they're kind of flawed. How about this stat, Matt? 0-10 against a combined 0-10 against Cleveland, Boston, and Oklahoma City. So that's your that's a New
Yeah,
York.
I mean, they were hoping that Cat trade would be the one that, you know, put him over, and it has been pretty good for him, but I just don't. There's just something. I don't know what it is, but there's something off about that team. I mean, Jalen Brunson's good. They maybe missed DiVincenzo that more. I don't think they don't miss Randall that much, so it's weird on that trade. I thought they would just be that much better. I was looking at them as being the second team in the East at the beginning when they acquired Towns and how good he was playing. But maybe them being healthy for a couple of weeks there, coming down unhealthy for a couple down the stretch, Brunson and Cat. So I don't know. We'll see what the Knicks do, but I think they can be upset for sure by that Piston team.
Yeah. So once again, today the final day in the NBA. It'll all come down for the matchups today. All right. Do we have a bonus? Where are you putting the Masters at? Because I was confused.
It's hot. It's hot and cold. It really is hot and cold. And like I said,
we'll put it in the middle.
We'll put it lukewarm. We'll put it in the warm category. And so Thursday, Friday. Thursday's round was meh. There wasn't a lot of hot stuff going on. It was just a bland Masters at first. Nothing really exciting. You had the Justin Rose, who's a long time, he's getting close to wrapping his PGA career and probably going to the championships tour, but he's still got some years left on the PGA, but he's older. He was leading the tournament for a little bit on Friday, and then the whole week though, Bryson was there. I think he's been the most consistent of the tournament. Rory had a big day yesterday that propelled him to be leading right now. But today, I think you're going to look at Ludwig Aberg. He might make a run today. But a lot of big names just weren't in the contest like we were hoping. Scotty Scheffler hung around on day one. He was leading the tournament for a little bit, hanging around the top. So he's the number one player in the world, but he's at 6 under today, or he might be 4 under. I got to look at it.
He's at 5 under right now.
5 under right now. And a lot of these guys are getting on the course. That final group is probably going to get on the course here pretty soon. I think 1:30 is their tee time, or maybe 2 o'clock is their tee time, but that's Eastern time. So we're here in the freaking mountain time zone. I don't even know what time it is half the time. So you have to check that out, but it's going to be a good final day. Yesterday was great. Fire yesterday. What Rory did. Bryson sunk a putt on 18 that got him to 10 under. That was tremendous. Rory hit a Tiger S shot. It was literally the same place where Tiger hit it, and he hit it to the same spot on the green where Tiger hit it. So it was immaculate yesterday. So if you're a golf fan and you like to watch golf, as I got my Pins and Aces Masters shirt on, I got a couple seasons ago. It's a big deal. Go get your pimento and cheese. Go get your egg sandwiches. It's going to be and get locked in, because it's going to be a good final day with Bryson and Rory bringing up the rear, closing out the Masters. And I really do think Bryson's going to push him. If there's anything that we've been looking for, a Phil versus Tiger, a Tiger versus David Duval, just the old classic battles that we're used to seeing, that we haven't seen in a while because, the LIV and PGA split. This could be the day where we finally see Bryson and Rory are going to go at it today. I really think it's going to be a heavyweight fight, and they're going to throw blows, not literally, but on the golf course. There was already talk a little bit about it, talking back and forth. Bryson had 5 bags of balls last night. He's going to figure something out. He's going to come into this final day and have a plan. Rory's just going to beat the hell out of that golf ball down the fairway. We're going to see a lot of these guys. There's going to be some couple holes where they got the driver out, and they're going to try to outdrive each other. Bryson's playing with a long driver, and Rory's hitting his branded TaylorMade. So it's going to be a fun day. If you love to watch golf, today's going to be the day to watch it. Definitely for sure in that final round.
Yeah. So heading into today, like you mentioned, Rory is sitting at a 12 under, and Bryson's sitting at 10 under right now, sitting in third. right now, the Canadian Corey Connors is in third place right now at 8 under. Patrick Reed 6 under. Like you mentioned, was it Auberg?
Ludwig Eiberg. Tremendous golfer.
Yeah, sitting at 6 under as well. And then the Aussie Jason Day sitting there as well at 5 under. Like you mentioned, Scotty Scheffler 5 under, Rose 5 under, Lowry 5 under, and then kind of bringing up the rear is the American Zach Johnson. So there are your standings heading into today. So keep an eye on the golf course out there in Augusta. So we will see who takes home 20. Is it 21 million? That's crazy.
Yeah, it's a big one. And that green jacket, it's all about the green jacket. Hey, where's your green jacket?
Gold jacket, who gives it?
Hey, where's yours at? You got one?
Yeah, that jacket belongs to Mr. Gilmore. By the way, are you excited for Happy Gilmore too?
You know, I am, because Adam Sandler hasn't disappointed me yet. But
there's a couple questionable ones.
Yeah, I get that.
Are you sad that it's only on Netflix because he signed like that multi-million dollar?
He's got. I'm not too, because I mean, that's not going to bother me much, but I just hope it's not too golfy, if that makes sense. Because the thing about the old Happy Gilmore was that he was a hockey player that was playing golf. Now I don't want to see Happy
really?
Gilmore the golfer, huh?
Remember, he's like, I'm not a golfer. He's like, oh yeah, really? What team you play for?
What team you play for? Yeah. When's your seat? Yeah. And I don't want to see Happy Gilmore the golfer. I want to still see Happy Gilmore the hockey player that comes back to play golf for whatever reason it is. So I'm encouraged. I want to see it. I do, but I don't know. It might be too long. I don't know.
Yeah, some of these remakes that are made like 20, 30 years later, they're questionable, but
because even Adam Sandler himself said it, he can't do what he did back then. And golf, you can see it. Like when Happy Gilmore was doing, I was believable. It was believable. Now I don't know if Happy Gilmore doing the same golf swing like that is going to be believable. But we'll see. I'm ready to see it. I'm ready to see it.
Yeah, so we will see what happens in Happy Gilmore. All right, over on the ice list, Matt. This team is just.
Oh gosh, dude.
So the Colorado Rockies, again, apologize for how many local stuff we're talking about, but the Colorado Rockies come out and they announced their new. I mean, every team does this. Every team has a new uniform every single year. Last year they had the license plate jerseys, which makes this season's look like pure gold, really.
Yeah.
And the comments that are going around, they have the vibe of the old Taco Bell looking restaurants with the crazy purple. So here they are. So what is your overall thought? Because the more I look at it, the more I'm just like, I mean, what else are they supposed to do, I guess, is the question. They did the license plate. I don't even remember what 2 years ago, Matt, was. I honestly,
I don't.
I mean, this is my third year of proudly boycotting going to these teams' games.
It looks like it's taken on too, honestly.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I'm proud of people for not going to their games. But so that's their new City Connect this season. So what was your overall takeaway? Again, I am indifferent, I guess, but I mean, a lot of people like them too. I've already seen some people on Facebook already have like the hat and stuff like that. How does it compare to the license plates of last year? Remember they had the green pants last year and everybody hated it, so they got rid of the green pants. But what's your overall thoughts about this year's City Connect uniforms?
Is it supposed to be a sunset? Is that what it's supposed to mimic?
So we have the where's the description of it? They had you know how they like point to every little thing on the jersey and explains what it is. Here it is. So I'll put this up on the screen if I can. So they go into detail. They have the little thing pointing at each of what's put into it. Just kind of, and don't forget, every league does this pretty much. except for really football. They do have like their color. I
The
think
color rush.
I think they kind of really made that defunct too. You don't really see that much anymore.
Yeah.
But here's the details of what it's supposed to be. Can't really read it there, but I'll leave that up on the screen. The jersey design, and the I guess the hashtag is trailblazing our future, which is weird. But the jersey design says featuring our iconic mountain logo with a vibrant, colorful overhaul that encompasses all the Front Range represents. So that is the top left box there, the Colorado mindset. The interior of the hat is lined with the Denver City flag, punctuated by the beautiful colors highlighted throughout our state and the uniform. Not really much of a description there. It is a pullover jersey, so there's no buttons.
No buttons.
The Rockies are the first team to debut a City Connect pullover jersey, a callback to the very first jersey worn at the beginning of a ball player's journey.
Oh,
so again, not
little
much,
kids.
not much description there. The rip stop pattern, not sure what that is. The rip stop pattern is inspired by the classic clothing materials worn by skiers and snowboarders.
Oh God.
So there you go. There you go. Some ski and snowboarder tie-ins. But yeah, really not. It didn't really explain anything. But yeah, I think the sunset had something to do with it. I think the creator of this jersey, their grandfather was probably the owner of Taco Bell at one point. But that's where we're at.
My first is it doesn't, to me, that doesn't represent Colorado. There's nothing.
The license plate did better than that.
That's what I was just gonna say. The license plate represented Colorado. Like we saw it. That's Colorado. This, I look at it and I'm thinking Phoenix. I think Phoenix, Arizona. I think New Mexico. I don't think Colorado. There's nothing about it that makes me think Colorado. So that's my biggest issue with it, is that there's nothing about it that makes me feel like it's Colorado. Maybe if the colors were different, like it's not even really the design that I have the issue with. It's the color. I think the color is off.
So here's the comparables. Here's last year's with the green pants. So this is when they debuted the light. And by the way, they're going to wear this at every home game on Fridays. So even if it's a night game, bring your sunglasses. But here is last year's license plate. I mean, that's at least Colorado colors.
That's yes.
The mountains, the purple tie in there. Connor Joe, he's not even on the team anymore. But they got rid of the green pants, but I didn't really mind the green pants.
I don't mind the green pants at all.
Yeah. So there's that. There's last year, and here's this year. There you go. That's where we're at.
It makes me. I mean, it makes me want to go out and eat some sherbet. Like that's what I feel like sherbet right now when I see that. And maybe if they're going to have like a big sherbet deal, if they got are they adding a sherbet to left field kind of situation? Is that what they're doing? I don't know, but I'm not going to get too upset about it because I'm not shocked or surprised. It's the freaking Colorado Rockies. I'm not like. But it just doesn't. That's my issue with it, is the color. The color has nothing to do with Colorado, and it just doesn't say anything to me that it makes like, yeah, that I could feel like that represents the Colorado, or the state of Colorado that we live in.
So, and if you're wondering if there's any other, I guess, leaked team City Connect jerseys, here's a couple of them. The White Sox are kind of going with the Chicago Bulls look. The black
cool.
stripe, that's kind of cool. The Red Sox is kind of boring. I don't know what that means.
That's lame.
The Nationals it's okay. It's still they kind of brought back the old cherry blossom look, although they don't really have a lot of pink tied in. Miami, yeah, that looks like Miami Vice.
I feel
right
like
there.
Miami's done that several times though.
Oh yeah,
don't you get that feeling?
Remember San Diego's last year looked like a Miami jersey.
The Heat did that. The Heat did that same pattern. The Heat did that.
But if you remember the Padres last year, their City Connect jersey looked like a Miami nightclub.
Yeah, it did.
With their vibrant colors. So there is some of the leaked, I guess.
Do you think the Dodgers are probably just going to be solid gold, right? The Dodgers, they'll just be solid gold.
Yeah. Gold plated, I think.
Gold
yeah.
plated, actual gold plated jerseys.
And I saw Houston's. I don't know if you saw Houston's.
Trash can.
No, I really liked Houston's. Let me pull it up here. Yeah, Houston had a cool one. They kind of went back to the old school look. Here it is, right here, Houston's. I like
that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, it says Strohs on it. The old school orange star right there.
Yeah. And has the do the Rockies currently, do they have a pinstripe uniform?
I think their home jersey is pinstripe, isn't it?
I don't know. I haven't, Mike. I have a confession to make. I haven't watched a Rockies game on TV in maybe 2 or 3 years.
I'm right there with you.
I mean, I have not. I've watched other games. Like, I watched a lot of baseball last week, but I have not watched a Rockies game on TV. I've listened to them on radio, but I haven't watched one. So I maybe that was a stupid question. I apologize for. Of course, they got pinstripes, but I feel like they banned the pinstripes at some point too.
No, I think their home jersey is still the white with the purple pinstripes.
Because that's, in my opinion, that's the greatest jersey of all time. I mean, if you want to get into jerseys, that is the cleanest, the greatest. Excuse me. And I think the reason why I feel that way is because that goes back to my nostalgic, when I loved the Rockies, when seeing Larry Walker stand up there, Dante Bichette wearing that jersey. And I think I really enjoyed that, the great Troy Tulowitzki wearing that just tremendous jersey. It was, that's one of the things that I remember. That's why it pulls to me. So I would like.
So this is still their home jersey, by the way, right there.
Okay. See, that's still one of the best jerseys that's ever been made, in my opinion.
Yeah, and you know what I miss? I miss the black vests. That was my favorite.
Yes, I have one of those. I have I had a Streets. Remember Houston Street? I had a Houston Street one.
Oh, do I remember that guy? Man. Yeah, you want to talk about having a heart attack at the end of games.
That's why I loved him. That's why I love that freaking crazy kid.
Oh, God. Yeah, he was... You never knew. You never knew what was going to happen at the end of the game. It seemed like that way for all Rockies closers back in the day. You just never knew.
Sure.
You just never knew what. I mean, you threw Brian Fuentes out there. You just never knew. Houston Street would strike out the first 2 batters on 6 pitches and then walk the bases loaded, hit a guy, and then it was just.
Oh, it was an adventure. It was
for sure. All right, number 2 on the iceless mat. I don't know if you saw our boy came out with a. Is it a Barbie? Can we say that?
No, it's okay, Mike. Let me just be specific, all right? It's a Ken doll, but it's a Barbie, but it's a Ken doll. So you know how Barbie has Barbie and Ken? This is a Ken doll that is considered a Barbie. This is not an action figure. Okay, you don't. This is
question. Does he have? Can he flop?
I'm sure he has a flop grip.
Can he fall down like he's hurt and then get up like nothing happened?
I'm sure that's all in the box.
Here's the picture, but yeah, describe it.
Look at what are we doing here?
Oh my God.
What are we doing? Like, and this is a point that cracks me up that was made that like there's not any girls that are going, okay, I don't want to like come out and say Barbies are just for girls, but most of the people that I see play with Barbies are girls. Okay. And I don't know any boys that have Barbies. I don't know any boys that are going to want the LeBron James Barbie doll. And I don't understand who this is for outside of that category. But I know guys and the LeBron fans, the people that love LeBrons, there's a certain term for them. I don't know if we're going to talk about that with a certain term that they have for LeBron James lovers, but they're going crazy for this thing.
Hey, complete with Beats headphones.
Yes, and look at that. Look, like, oh my
Complete,
gosh, oh my
complete,
gosh.
complete
There's,
with complete with a man purse.
I don't know. That's a satchel. I think it's a satchel. It's not. No, that's a purse. That's a purse. If LeBron's wearing it, it's a purse. It just goes to like, what are we doing? What do we do? Is this historical? Is this monumental?
Like you mentioned, there's going to be a niche set of people, like you mentioned, who's going crazy for this.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can get it autographed, I guess that's a cool piece of memorabilia to have.
$75 for this thing. $75 for this doll.
Yeah.
It's not an action figure. It's a doll. It is a Barbie Ken doll. And I was trying to find the picture of it. He's sitting there. He's so happy, so proud. I guess you could be proud, but I don't know if I'm excited about no. And look at the pose he's got.
I'm trying to get this other picture where he's holding the headphones.
Yeah, that's the one that's the best. I
can't get it, but
it is just that this LeBron James, man, like, God bless him, because he is definitely changing. Like, he's right. He's changing the game, or he has changed the game.
I mean, by the way, look at the watch this guy is wearing. There you go.
Oh yeah. Oh, see what we're like. It's accessories. Like you mentioned, you can put the Beats headphones on. You could take his hat off. He's changed the game, Mike. He's changed the game. There's nothing we can do about it. And he's a trailblazer. He's a trailblazer. He's doing things 23. He's doing things MJ never did. MJ never did this. MJ never had a Barbie.
Here you go. To sign it. There you go. Look at how happy he is.
You see what he's just like all hail the king. All hail the king.
There you go.
King Braun.
All right. To wrap up the ice list here, I want to talk about the transfer portal. You heard a lot of coaches kind of destroy it. Gino Auriemma kind of talked about it. You kind of saw what it's kind of doing to college sports. I forgot who the men's coach was that absolutely destroyed it. But over on the women's side, I mean, we've had 3 freshmen transfer out of USC. So when Juju comes back, she's really not going to have a lot of help, because Avery Howell transferred out. One of the other freshmen that they combined, Matt, remember that Sweet 16 game? The freshmen combined for 45 points after Juju went down to win that game. So Avery Howell has committed to Washington. And then 3 UCLA freshmen have transferred out of the Bruins. You're still going to have Lauren Betts, thank God, in the middle out there in UCLA.
And her sister's coming too. Her sister's Sienna Betts is coming.
Yep. Miss All-American in Colorado, by the way. And you're still going to have Gabriela Jaquez out there at UCLA as well. But and Kiki Rice, I think, is still going to be hanging around UCLA as well. So I think they're going to be fine. A lot of girls transferred out of Notre Dame, except for Hannah Hidalgo. She's still going to, I guess, remain there as a freshman. But the big one that happened the other day, man, how about Malaysia Fuwaili is transferring out of South Carolina?
Good for her.
So Dawn Staley, you could tell watching that game against UConn, Matt, you can kind of, like, I was watching her. She just wasn't, it just didn't seem like her heart was in it. She was just walking up and down the court. She got the ball stolen from her. Just really didn't seem like she was paying attention. She got taken out of the game. Dawn Staley was yelling at her, put her back in the game. Really didn't make much of a difference. I think she only had like 8 points in the national championship or something like that. All research, zero reaction. So I mean, what do you think the transfer portal is doing to we'll just keep it focused on college basketball for now, since the season just ended. But a lot of these teams are going to look different. I get, this is why we've come to know a lot of the women's basketball teams, because they stay in school. You have to stay in school for 4 years in order to go to the next level. On the men's side, is it still 1 year you got to play?
Freshman, yeah.
Yeah, so that's why all these teams are changing stuff like that. You would think there would be you would think there would be some different teams that are making it to the end of the season with all the different freshmen leaving after one season, the transfer portal stuff like that. But let's keep it focused on college basketball here for this conversation's sake. But I mean, what do you think the transfer portal is doing to college sports, and is it good? I mean, you're kind of a free agent once you put your name into the hat. I'm glad that Lucy Olson transferred to Iowa, but you're going to see a lot of different personnel out there for a lot of these key teams that are hoping to make another run.
Yeah, it's until they change the God, I don't know if it's how they the timing of it, especially in college basketball, is crazy because it opens up during March Madness basically, and it's wide open, and guys and girls start moving. But I think coaches, if until they change it or they put some parameters on it or they do something to it, coaches are going to have to adapt to it. Rick Pitino is already one of those coaches that has talked about how he doesn't even look at freshmen, or he doesn't even look at high school kids anymore because he can't get them to the level they need to be at. And with all these, with the transfer portal being available, you could just go and pluck kids from the transfer portal who are seasoned, who are sophomores, juniors, or seniors that are incoming seniors. There's a lot of the experience that's there that you can't get in, that doesn't come from bringing in a freshman and developing that freshman. You're a lot of these smaller schools are developing kids for bigger schools. CSU, CU, or I'm sorry, Northern Colorado, Dalton Connect was there. He went to Tennessee. There's all kinds of examples, and JUCOs are getting killed in this too. A lot of kids aren't going to JUCOs no more. They're going to go and play for a small school and then hit the portal. So there's a lot of things but coaches in particular, they're going to have to adapt to the portal. They're going to have to learn how to use it. They're going to have to learn how to keep players on their teams. Haley Van Lith, she started out with the Cardinals.
Two-time
yeah. She started there, went to LSU, and then she finished out in TCU. Angel Reese, she started out at Maryland, ended up with LSU, and then we saw where she ended up. I think Cardoso even transferred around a couple times. Von Lay from CU, Lauren Betts, yes.
She started at Stanford.
There's just all kinds of examples of current players, and Malaysia Fawale. So we knew that was going to happen. Like, you can tell in this tournament in particular, you knew that she needed to get out of there in order for, there's just all kinds of examples of it. And I'll be honest with you, Mike, I like it. For me, it's just the way it is. I would like it to be a little bit more I know we're just keeping it college basketball, but an example we got at the Tennessee quarterback, there's a big deal going on with him.
He's
but
holding out.
He's for money. I mean, and this also is too, like Dalton Connect. Like there's everybody's saying that he's consensus number one. I don't know if he's going to come out. Like if he's coming out for the money that he's going to get in the NBA, he's probably going to make more in college.
You mean Cooper Flagg?
Cooper Flagg. Yes, I was just talking about Dalton. Yes, thanks. Cooper Flagg. He's the consensus number one right now, and if I don't think, especially after that the way that ended. And I think what this could do is that you could build super teams in college basketball. You can get these teams, and we've seen it in football a little bit, but you can build these super teams here with college basketball. And I think Cooper Flagg's going to stay there. There's a very, very good chance that he stays. Why would he come out when he can come back? He got so close to a national championship, and that could maybe have kids look at, hey, I'm making money here. Maybe I should stay here to go win. Maybe I should go try to win a national championship. Maybe I should transfer here, transfer there. Maybe I should do that. So it's going to make the game, in my opinion, I think better and more, I wouldn't say exciting because it does but it would be like, where's this guy going to go? and college coaches, like you're gonna have to adapt. Gino was talking about it, and Patino's talked about it. Hurley's talked about it. And even Jay Wright, he doesn't coach anymore. The old Villanova coach, he's talked about the transfer portal. There's good and bad of it, but I think overall it makes wanting to stay in college is to stay playing. You're maybe not going to stay on the same team, but you're going to see this player somewhere else and see what they do there. A great example was the kid that played for CU last year. Goes to CSU, has a great freaking year, great year. So there's a lot of those examples that we see, and I think overall, it's got to change. There's got to be some, like, again, parameters on it, whatever that means, however that looks. There's got to be something to where they have the window open later in the season, maybe after the tournament's over, so you don't have this turmoil too. You're trying to win a tournament game, but you got this, you're wondering if this kid's going to leave or not. So I think that sucks, but if they can do something like that, and I mean, it's been this way for years, right, Mike? Like, there's been under the table paying, there's been this and that going on, and now it's just out in the open. So I think ultimately it's good to get kids to stay in college if they're making money to pursue a national championship at some point, whether it's the same team or a different team. I think it still makes it more exciting to see what's going to happen next year.
Yeah, so looking at the women's transfer portal right now in college basketball, Cody McMahon is transferring out of Ohio State. You kind of saw, I saw a lot of her because I watched a lot of Iowa women's games, but she's a junior. She's going to play her senior year. She's committed to Ole Miss. Kind of talked about the UCLA freshman, Xana Nguyen. She's transferring out. We'll see where she lands. Taylor Johnson Matthews she's committed to Clemson. The big one of the other big ones is Olivia Miles, the junior for Notre Dame. A lot of people thought she was going to go to the WNBA draft, but now she forewent the WNBA draft and she actually committed to TCU. I talked about Avery Howe, the freshman. She's transferring out of SC. She's committed to Washington. Taylor Parker, TCU is going to have actually a good team. Freshman out of Texas A&M. She's transferring so she's staying in Texas. Vanessa De Jesus, the senior from Duke, she is transferring, so she's going to play a fifth season somewhere else. So there's been a lot of movement. Also, the senior Samika Walker from South Carolina is transferring out, so she will play a fifth season somewhere else as well. And how about this? The sister of Chloe Kitts from South Carolina, Kylie Kitts, is transferring out of Florida. I know Chloe Kitts is doing her best recruitment job, try to get her to come to South Carolina. So you could see two sisters on two different teams come next season. Another freshman out of UCLA, Kendall Dudley. She hasn't committed anywhere yet, but she is also on the move. Florida loses a lot of their freshmen as well. So those are just some of the names out there right now, Matt. There's going to be there is and will be a lot of movement. So I just wanted to get your take on what the transfer portal, what your thoughts on it was, because according to a lot of coaches, a lot of movement isn't good, but it's also good that at least women have to stay in college for at least 4 years. So you get to know a lot of them. And that's almost why I watch more women's college basketball for the tournament than I did the men's, to be honest with you.
Yeah. And during the season, I watch more women's college basketball. I mean, I watch the same amount, but I find myself gravitating towards the women more. There's just better storylines there. And I mean, it has been better, but I think the coaches, they can't cry anymore about the transfer portal or whine and say it's bad for this and bad. I think they just need to adapt to it, because it's like coaches, they would be in the transfer portal all the time. Like, they would go from a smaller school to a bigger school, or better situation for a good situation for a better situation. So, and that's all these kids are doing. And that's why I feel like it's good, because it's making some of these coaches have to change the way that they recruit, change the way that they build their team or they build their program, and it makes them even coach more. It makes them coach their asses off even more. Maybe dig into the AAU circuit, however much you can't stand it being a straight up showcase. Maybe it gives you it makes you go out and do different things as a coach. And for me as a coach, it would inspire me to like, hey, I want to look at Coach Prime at Colorado, perfect example of this. And I think Coach Belichick's, this is why he came back into college football or into college, because I think it's more like the pros now. And I think he's going to benefit from it and enjoy doing it as well. But you get excited on trying to woo a kid that came into because a lot of these with these transfer portals, also you might have a kid that comes in and is deemed a 1-star, or kid that wasn't heavily recruited, have a great year at a small college. So he had a tremendous year. And yeah, there's that point of staying true to the college that, brought you in here. But why isn't fair to him that nobody recruited him? He has a tremendous year. Now everybody wants him. He has an opportunity to go play for a bigger school, more money, and a better opportunity. Why can't he go do that? So I would say to coaches that are upset about all this, and just, you got to adapt. Like what is Billy Beane saying in Moneyball? Adapt or die. You got to adapt or die and figure it out. And I think the coaches that are like Rick Pitino, like Coach Prime, Hurley, or these other coaches that are figuring this out and trying to really recruit that transfer portal, are going to be better off for it. And it's going to change. It's going to get different and better. But I think the coaches, instead of whine and cry about it, they need to adapt to it and figure out how to use it to their advantage. It's there. It's there to use. You can figure it out.
And if you notice too, it's a lot of freshmen who are transferring because, they're looking at teams like maybe they wanted to play for coming out of high school.
Yep. And they don't get
like you mentioned, not heavily recruited. They see maybe perhaps a senior in their position leave, graduate, move on, whatever. They're like, oh, now's my opportunity I'm going to enter my name in the transfer portal, and hopefully they give me a call, because it seems like a lot of these freshmen are waiting for a lot of seniors at other schools to move on so they can slide into that school or that position or what have you. I mean, we just talked about women's college basketball. A lot of it has to do with minutes. Obviously, freshmen, they're not going to get the minutes that probably your big seniors, big
right.
juniors are going to get. If you're a Juju Watkins or a Lauren Betts or whoever, you're going to get a lot of minutes. And, the freshmen that are down the bench, they're going to be like, well, I'm going to go transfer somewhere else to get minutes. Right. Maybe they look at other teams and say, I'm a 6'4" freshman. I'm not getting any minutes. That's crazy. I'm going to go transfer somewhere else where I do get minutes and do get noticed and stuff like that. So it seems like a lot of them are freshmen. Seniors, I guess it's weird to see a senior in a transfer portal. I guess maybe you have 1 year of eligibility left. I'm going to go try to win a national championship somewhere else, like you mentioned. So it is interesting how college sports have almost become like the pros.
Yeah.
And now they have their own free agency pretty much.
And what Haley Van Lith did this year with TCU, like she was there at Louisville. Then she goes to LSU, and she was kind of, Angel Reese was there still. You had Anissa there. Falage, excuse me. There's a lot of talent there. So she was kind of like the third, fourth option. She goes to TCU. She was a beast this year, just a beast, and led that team. As she there was times she put that team on her back, and she just led that team, and that coach gave her the opportunity to do that. She's like, here, come here, run my team, run my offense. And she's that type of player where you can do that. So you saw that be a great example. Yeah, there could be a negative of well, she's played on 3 teams and blah, blah, blah. In this time, in this era, that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. So I think it's we're going to see if there's these things that get tightened up on it. Because I think there's some screws that need to be tied up to it. But I think ultimately, these old college coaches, that's why you might even see some of these old guys not coach college basketball anymore. Gino might be gone, guys like that, that's just saying, I'm not going to deal with this anymore. I'm out. Although I think Gino's got a pretty good grasp on what the hell he's doing over there at UConn. I don't think he has anything to worry about with the transfer. They're coming to him. Like, and that's another thing too, with some of these coaches that are talking about it, they don't have anything to worry about because that's a destination. That's a place they want to go. So they don't have no, but if you're like a small school, like Iowa State, who's a pretty good basketball school, but if you're breeding these kids, they might want to leave because it's Iowa State. There's just examples of that all over the place. CU's even a great example of that I don't think that basketball team right now is a destination somewhere I want to end. It could have been at one point. I don't know if it is anymore, where kids are maybe leaving. I know we had some transfers in last year, but there's some examples of them leaving. So I think overall the NIL is changed college basketball, changed college sports. But if it gets tightened up, it could be good for it. And I think it is.
It's just funny to see, like, when a team loses in March Madness tournament, in the NCAA tournament, they're like, our seniors are moving on, but we got a pretty good freshman class. And then literally days later, your whole freshman class enters the transfer portal.
It's gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's what's crazy. So again, freshmen are, but again, why are freshmen transferring out to take place of seniors on another team when you could take the place of seniors on the team you're already on? I don't know, Matt. It just, I personally hate moving. I would hate to just.
I get that. Yeah.
You're at a different school. You got to make new friends. It seems like a lot.
But also too, the culture that some of these players grow up in is the AAU culture. The AAU culture is riddled with teams you're going here, going there. Some of these kids don't stay on the same team. So it's just ingrained to them that, it's not a big deal if I go from team to team to team. I've seen kids. I had a kid a couple years ago that played for my team, played for another team, went and played for this team, played for that team. And then the next year he was on a totally different set of teams. He just bounced from team to team to team. And that's what they get into. A lot of these kids that are doing that have played AAU, have played different teams, have played on different teams and played for different coaches, that they don't care. They think that's the normal, that they just go and play for. There's no continuity that they're trying to build. And that's why some of these coaches, they get upset, because it's like, gosh, I had this guy, he ran my offense the way I wanted to it. Now this person's gone. Now I got to figure out how to plug that hole.
Yeah. Can you imagine if, Lauren Betts already made her. Can you imagine if like Juju or Paige Beckers entered the transfer portal?
Oh yeah. It would have been crazy. And there was talk that CC might've did that last year, because she had that last year eligibility or whatever left. That I think
she would have. I think she would have returned to Iowa though.
But she almost won with Iowa. So yeah, why would she leave? For sure.
And like I said, I'm glad Lucy Olson transferred to Iowa.
Right. Yep.
And she was the second or third leading scorer behind Caitlin Clark last year. So, and that was at a okay basketball school in Villanova the year before, but we will see what happens. But really quickly before we get out of here, I know you hopped on when the news broke, but your overall thoughts here on Michael Malone getting fired from the Denver Nuggets. Now the Nuggets 2-0 without him. You saw Jokic grab the clipboard, obviously draw up some plays. Aaron Gordon in the locker room said, "Hey, I would love to be an assistant coach to Jokic."
Oh yeah.
But what was your overall thoughts? Kelvin Booth personally was trash anyway. He was, and if you watch the interview with Josh Kroenke. So, by the way, when did basketball get like governors? Like, he's the governor of the Nuggets.
I don't know. I'm so confused. I was
weird.
Yeah, and that now he's the GM, the de facto GM apparently. Essentially,
that's fine.
It is what it is.
I think Josh Kroenke knows ball, but
yeah.
What was your overall thoughts? And again, the interview, he said we were gonna make changes anyway.
Right
at the end of the season. Why didn't delay the inevitable? But yeah, what was your overall thoughts?
And my initial reaction was shocking at the timing, but not shocked that it happened. Now, after everything that's came out and seeing the way the team played, I don't think they win that game against Memphis. on Friday if Malone was a coach, and just reading and seeing the things that are coming out about the whole situation, he could have been gone in 23. He could have been gone in 22. This has been building. It's been building and building and building, and winning his mask put a mask over it, or deodorant.
That was the key phrase that Josh Kroenke said was, winning masks a lot of deficiencies.
Yeah, you can't go and fire a coach after winning the championship, and there's just nothing. But it's seeing it is that I'm glad it happened. Feel terrible for Michael Malone. He was the greatest coach in Nuggets history, and it sucks, and it doesn't sound like he was too happy about it. But from what these last 2 games have looked like, they needed it. I don't know where they go from here. I'm an Adelman guy. I've said it a couple times. I'm an Adelman guy. I would love for him to stay. I don't know who you're going to go get that's better, right? At this point, if you want this team to stay growing and stay moving in that championship aspect, you keep the guy that's been a piece of that championship team. You keep him here and involved, and especially since Chauncey Billups just is going to sign an extension with Portland. Portland loved him. Keep him here. That's my initial thing, but it had to happen. I'm glad it happened when it did. In hindsight, I'm glad it happened when it did. Whether you want to be upset and have more respect for Michael Malone, let him finish out. Blah. If you're going to do it now, do it. This team still felt like it had a chance to win. That's why they did it now. Like the opposite is what is happening here. Typically, if a team fires their coach, there's nowhere the chance for win. There was an opportunity that they felt that they can still win. They're trying to make do on it. And if they do, they're going to look like geniuses. If they don't, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because you're out of the playoffs and you're restarting the season anyway. So it doesn't matter. So why not I'm okay with it now. I know a lot of people are upset, more respect for Michael Malone, blah, blah, blah. They weren't winning. They were playing like crap. Nikola Jokic was pissed. They weren't in a good place. Get rid of the toxicity, whether it was Booth and Malone together, get rid of it. It's gone. Let's go forward. I'm happy with it overall. In hindsight, I'm good with it.
Yeah, so I was kind of in the middle of Michael Malone. I wasn't banging the table for him. I wasn't telling him I wasn't, banging the table for him to stay. Wasn't banging the table for him to get fired. But it was time. It was, like you mentioned, the timing was a little weird. 3 games left in the season, still a playoff run to be had, blah, blah, blah. But like Josh Kroenke said, they were going to make a change at the end of the season anyway. So why not do it now? I believe he lost the team a long time ago.
Yeah.
He even said during a press conference, Matt, he goes, I'm paraphrasing, but he said, they're not going to go watch their minutes. The guys who don't give a shit aren't listening anyway.
Right.
Coach is
tripping.
Yeah, and I said, does anybody have something to say about it? And nobody spoke up. So I believe he lost the team a long time ago. And now kind of the elephant in the room, as more reports have come out, is Russell Westbrook. And I guess Kelvin Booth and Michael Malone were kind of butting heads on his playing time, on Jalen Pickett's playing time. The team was kind of like, why is coach supporting Russell Westbrook so much? I would imagine Westbrook has heard these reports, Matt, and now trying to go out and play with the guys who were kind of look at him like, why is he getting so many minutes? And now David Edelman is like, whoever's playing the best is going to finish out the game. You saw Russ finish out the game the other day.
Finished out the game, right?
And he had a very good game.
Huge down the stretch in that game.
Yeah, on both sides of the ball.
Yep.
He was climbing the ladder for rebounds. I'd never seen him jump so high. Aaron Gordon was possessed that game. They just look like a completely different team energy-wise. You really can't coach effort, I think, is the cliche that everybody says.
Right.
But when you make a change like this, you can see the effort is back in these guys. I believe. And again, like Nikola said after the game, was it Memphis or the first game? He goes, the beast is more dangerous when they're vulnerable. So maybe they woke the beast.
Yep. And that's what when Adelman said, the best 5 are going to play that are playing the best at the end. That's a challenge right there. That's a challenge right there that he put out there. He didn't say, because the question was asked about Russell Westbrook, and he didn't say if Russell Westbrook is one of the best players playing at the end of the game, then he'll be in. He just said that the best 5 will be in the game. He didn't say that Russ is a veteran. I'm going to put him there. He said that. So that's something that can pump up Russ. A guy like Russ, that's something that, all right, I'll be there.
And it's really the best 4 because Joker's going to close out the game.
Well, that's true. It should be the best 4 because Joker's going to be in there. But yeah, I think that's how coaches challenge guys without coddling them and saying, well, Russ is a veteran, so he's going to be in there if he's healthy, he's going to be. He didn't say that. He said the best 4 are going to be in there plus Joker, and Russ maybe took that like, all right, okay, I'm one of the best 4 I'm one of the best that is going to be in, so I'm going to be in there. And he went out, and Pickett had a good game. Yeah. Pickett didn't play bad. He didn't play terrible. Michael Porter Jr. played like ass, but in those other guys, I think if there's anybody that we have to have a discussion with, it's Michael Porter Jr. because
Did you see the reports on him now?
I saw that. I don't believe that. I think that's bull hunky. I don't know.
They like guys from Missouri.
I just, that's like, what did they like? Because they were in. That's stupid. That sounds dumb.
Didn't Josh Kroenke go to Missouri?
Yeah, I think he did play basketball for Missouri. Yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to picture of him in a black jersey, so it might have been Missouri. I don't know, but I think that I don't buy into that at all because there was also a report that they were shopping Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray during the summer. So, and another thing, does the Denver Nuggets media just not get this stuff? Because like this, a lot of this stuff feels like somebody should have had it.
By the way,
somebody should have seen something and said, "Hey, man, there's something going on here." Nobody had it. Nobody was even coming out with it. So I'm wondering if these guys are as plugged in as they act like they are, outside of giving us numbers.
By the way, Jokic is not playing for the Lakers.
No, that is wacky too.
He's not playing for any other team. He would rather retire than go anywhere else. He's actually, I don't know if these reports have come out that he's close to signing another 3-year extension.
A 3-year extension, yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like there's all kinds of stuff coming out, and I don't know what to believe. I would believe the Joker news, but if we're gonna rebuild or if this team's gonna like add a superstar, make a trade, I don't know if Joker's gonna be like, yeah, give me my bag now. I want that now. So that's kind of interesting. So we'll see, though. We'll see.
I mean, kind of what I see is happening during the off season is they're going to bring in a new GM, and he's going to pick a head coach. Like you said, I mean, we could see David Edelman, we could see Popeye Jones, we could see Ryan Bowen, we could see Ryan Saunders, all gone this next off season, which would be kind of jarring, and that means you have no continuity with guys returning, players returning. So it's going to be a very interesting offseason for the Nuggets coming up.
Yeah, I agree. But we still got the playoffs going, and I'm not my expectations were Western Conference Finals. Right now, I don't have that because we don't have the Western Conference Final head coach that got him there last time. And I know I said that it looks better for this team and blah blah blah, but there is still an aspect of having the championship head coach on your bench. There is still that aspect, and that's not there no more. So there is something to that. I will admit that. I will say that.
But again,
I'm excited to see it.
His voice just could have went stale. Maybe they just needed
it like you said. Yeah, I think that's what happened. And seeing everything that I'm just the communication that you saw in huddles. They looked like they were out of it. They looked like they were.
Oh yeah, I mean, they weren't even paying attention. Yeah, you saw guys like, who was it? Was it Russ a couple times? Wasn't even in the huddle. He was standing off to the side. Yeah. You saw Jamal Murray at times like sit way down the bench. So guys just tuned him out, I feel like. And I guess that depending on how you look at it, that's very disrespectful. You should be listening to your coach. He won you a championship. You saw what Joker said, like, hey, they told me about it. I accepted it. You saw what Jamal said the other day after the win. And maybe if Jamal's not hurt, Matt, and they don't go on that. I mean, if Jamal's healthy, and they win 2 or 3 out of those 4 that they lost, are we even talking about this right now?
I don't know. If they're in the 3 seed right now, if they're comfortably sitting in that 3 seed, I don't know. And that's again, Kroenke brings up the deodorant. Is that just another streak of deodorant? But it would be a streak of deodorant that gets you into the playoffs. And then if you win, but if you have a great playoff series and you have a great playoff series, and then you just figure out what you do at the end. But again, what it sounded like that Kroenke's wanted to do is they wanted to get this over with as soon as possible, because they didn't want to have that have him go on a run in the playoffs, and then you're sitting there after a Western Conference Finals win or loss or whatever it may be. Let's just say they lose in the Western Conference Finals to Oklahoma City. I don't know. To the Lakers. I don't know. And can you fire Michael Malone after that? I don't know.
Yeah, it's again, what are we talking about? Like, are we even talking about this? Because look at, for as many people, and I hate these new Nuggets fans, Matt.
They're terrible.
These fans who became fans in 2023 after winning a championship. Like you mentioned, when you came on, hours after the news broke the other day, and you said, we've been through this.
Yeah.
Remember, I commented as much as I could. I said, remember the Brian Shaw days,
terrible.
and the Jeff Bizdellic days,
yep.
and the Bill Hanslick days. I mean, those teams were winning.
And the Dan Issel reboot in the early 2000s, like it was wild.
Those teams were winning 14 games in a season, Matt.
I know.
It was crazy.
I know. It just, I know, and it's like they just fell in love with this coach, and it's just tough. Like I feel like Booth was gone anyway, because they were talking about a contract extension. I remember reading that in November, and then it comes out that he declined what they were doing. So then they just all the talk stopped. So I think, say they go to the Western Conference Finals, they lose in the Western Conference, Booth is gone. And I think that they go that route and they try to get new players. But the roster may have looked entirely different. It may have looked like you could have seen some of these young guys that are here gone. You could have seen different veteran faces come in. The roster might have looked different for sure, but makes you wonder. Booth was gone anyway. I think Booth was gone no matter what, whether they win or lose.
Yeah. So one more thought before we get on out of here. I cannot stand ESPN anymore.
Yeah.
You know I'm an in-game rage tweeter.
Yep.
It's bad. It's bad. But I actually agreed with the Penguin on ESPN. And I'm talking about Brian Windhorst, a guy who's probably never stepped foot on any athletic surface in his entire life.
Does not look like it anyway.
I actually agreed what he said, and he said that, look, the Kroenkes do not fire coaches.
Right.
They are pretty darn loyal
right.
to their head coaches. And Michael Malone was one of their longest tenured coach, hired in 2015, made it almost 10 years. So they do not fire coaches. Jared Bednar, he made it through an Avalanche team that finished last. They only had 40-something points in a season, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
Finished last. They stuck with him. He was hired in 2016. Sean McVay, remember, the Kroenkes own the LA Rams. Sean McVay was hired in 2016, one of the longest tenured coaches now in the NFL. The Arsenal head coach, I think his name is like Armatron or Mikhail Armatron. He was hired in 2019. So they do not fire coaches, Matt. They stick with their guys. So there had to have been a lot of wrong things going on behind the scenes. Again, this timing was weird, but also the timing probably wasn't weird in their eyes, as Kroenke kind of alluded to. And based on their reputation with head coaches, Matt, I mean, something was way wrong for them to do it at this time, because, I mean, there are other coaches that they have leading their teams. They stick with them.
Yeah. It was something that was built up over time. They've been investigating it. I bet you they got a laundry list of things that they were watching and seeing happen.
I mean, and we could see it. We could see it as fans. I mean, rarely any adjustments. I mean, at least in-game stuff, no adjustments were hardly ever made. I I mean, you saw my. I don't know if you saw my tweet. I don't know what you call it. You saw my. X.
I don't know what to call it either. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
weird too
Post.
because I hope you didn't see her. But you saw my tweet said this. I mean, this still looks like a Michael Malone coach team and zero perimeter defense, but the effort level is back to, like you said, the Nuggets that we're used to, the old Nuggets. When
they're running. Like
Yeah,
we haven't seen this Nuggets team run in a long time.
And you saw, during the Nuggets games, at least on altitude, they put up the in-game tweets and stuff like that, and it said in all caps it said the old Nuggets are back. The fun this team is fun again. And it's only 2 games after they fired Michael Malone. So
and there's a lot of placebo effect. There's the honeymoon effect too, and that's why I was hoping to see them lose. I didn't want them to just go 3 in a row and just roll over these teams. I wanted to see them go through what they were dominated that whole game by Memphis. Memphis whooped their butts that entire game. The 3-point line, the every time Denver would come back with an emphatic dunk on a fast break, they would come back and bang a 3, go up 11 again. They were getting their butts kicked through that entire game. It wasn't until the fourth quarter, the last 4 or 5 minutes, where they scored 13 straight points. And that's what we remember the Nuggets doing. That's what the Nuggets used to do. Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray would take over the basketball game with the 2-man game. We saw that again. We saw them do it. And that's all comes from the effort, and it all comes from execution. They couldn't make a shot for nothing in that first half. They kept shooting. Third quarter comes out. They kind of go on a run, but same thing. They can't make a shot. I think if that's a Michael Malone coach team, or if that's Michael Malone on that bench, they get blown out in that second quarter. Maybe they make a run in the third quarter again. They come out, but that second quarter, they're down by 15, 20 some points going into halftime. Not 6. They were down by 6 points shooting that bad, and Memphis was shooting that good. So that's huge, and that's what I wanted to see from this team. Are they going to bounce back? Are they going to bounce back for Adelman? Or are they just going to wilt like they did for Malone and just give up? They didn't. They bounced back for Adelman, whether it's Adelman or each other or a mix of both. What this team is doing right now is what we used to see, what we're used to seeing from the Nuggets.
Yeah, so it isn't. And again, you mentioned the 2-man game. David Adelman said it after the game. It's so beautiful to watch. And again, if Jamal Murray is playing in those games where they lost 4 in a row, are we even talking about this? Because
you never know.
For as much as criticism as Jamal's got throughout the season as well. And again, you really can't blame a dude for being hurt. I mean, they're not going out there and getting hurt on purpose. Call him injury prone, call him whatever you want. But it's not like they're going out there and I'm going to tear my ACL today. They're not doing that.
No.
But I mean, for as rough, and again, Jamal had to knock off some rust. He missed 6 games in a row. But man, he is just so clutch and a closer in that fourth quarter. It's just remarkable that if he were to play in any of those games where they lost 4 in a row, Matt, I mean, how many do you lose?
Yeah, it makes you wonder.
Because some of those games were close in the fourth, like that Minnesota game going to double overtime. If Jamal's out there closing, do they lose that game? I mean, there's just so many questions surrounding what's transpired over the last week or so. It's going to be interesting heading into the playoffs. Where do they go from here? So,
yeah, I'm excited for it though. Like I'm a lot more excited now than I was going in. I was like, oh God, we're going to get hammered in the first round. Then I was hoping, I was like, maybe we can make the play-in game. Because the only way the way this team was playing is if they got into the play-in game and then they had to been like, man, we're in this with this situation, and maybe that would, motivate them, get them pissed off, get the pride going again to have to do that to be in the play-in situation. So that's where we were. And dude, a little piece of me was hoping that they didn't make the playoffs so they could get a high draft pick, because if their pick this year is in the top 5 picks, they get to keep it. So I was like, oh man, maybe we could get one of these the Clayton kid from Florida, or even I doubt if Cooper comes out, we have a shot at him. But then I started thinking that way. I was thinking some crazy thoughts there. That's how bad this Nuggets team had me.
Yeah, and again, I think I read somewhere too that if they win 2 of those 4 games that they lost in a row, Matt, we're not even talking about them falling into the play-in tournament. So
no,
and Yeah, they got to win today to keep their at least top 4 spot alive. So we will see again what happens in the NBA Western Conference at the end of today. But that is going to do it for us on the Wheelhouse. Thank you all for watching, tuning in, commenting, whatever you do to get involved with us. We appreciate it. Don't forget, this and a lot of pods on the network are brought to you by Pikes Peak Sports Cards. They do a lot of shows down in the Springs. So if you're in the Denver or Springs area, go check them out. Follow them on Facebook. Follow us on Facebook, X, Instagram. Subscribe and like our YouTube channel, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, wherever you find your podcast. Don't forget to head to our home base as well, e5280sports.com, for blogs, more videos, Pro Wrestling Daily, all that right there on the front page. Matt, are you a Last of Us fan? Season 2 premiere tonight. Have you watched it? Have you played the game?
No.
Judging by that expression, no. All right.
Sorry.
I'm excited for it. I'm excited.
I know what you're talking about. But no, I have not. I can't. I got nothing on it.
I'm watching a crazy documentary right now about the Natalia Grace. Do you remember that? The little person who everyone thought she was faking her age?
Yes.
Yeah.
That one, that's crazy.
That's
wild. Because she had dwarfism, right?
Yeah.
And she was trying to pawn off like an 8 or 9 year old girl, and she was like 20 or something like that.
No, that it was the opposite. I don't want to spoil it, but but yeah, now season 2 is all her talking about it. We finally get to hear from her, so it is crazy. Now there's actually a show about it.
Yeah,
on Hulu as well, starring Ellen Pompeo, who was the star of Grey's Anatomy. It's called Great American Family. So go check that out as well. It's crazy.
Yeah, and the guy from The League is in that too. He's the male character. Yep.
But that's gonna do it for us here, Matt. Any final thoughts before we get out?
Go Nuggets and go Bryson. Go Bryson. I'm a Bryson guy. I'm a DeChambeau guy. I'm rooting for Bryson. Rory's kind of been a little twerp lately, a little something. So I haven't been a fan of Rory lately. So I'm all Bryson today. So go Bryson.
Yeah, he's got to hit a couple shots under par to catch
He's
up
coming.
with Rory.
Rory's going to screw it up like he always does on Sunday.
All right, that's going to do it for us. Once again, on the Wheelhouse, go check out our socials. Go check out e5280sports.com. And until next week, we'll talk to you then.